Formula One heads to Monza for the last European race of the year, the Italian Grand Prix. So this is our last stop on the European calendar as well before the flyaway begins 2 weeks time. We're in Singapore, Japan, back to back as well with it. Then a 2-week break before we go over to the United States and Mexico, a further 2 weeks break, and then Brazil and Abu Dhabi round out the 2022 season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, 109-point advantage Max Verstappen holds over that of both Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, who are level on points. George Russell is in 4th now, just ahead of Carlos Sainz in 5th. Lewis Hamilton is closing up on that battle as well in 6th position. He's well clear now of Lando Norris, who's well clear of Esteban Ocon, who is in a battle with his teammate Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas at Alfa Romeo rounding out the top 10. The second half of the page sees Kevin Magnussen 2 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, a point clear of Daniel Ricciardo, who's a point clear of Pierre Gasly. Further back in 15th as well, Mick Schumacher's on 12 points, battling Yuki Tsunoda's on 11, 5 points apiece for Zhou Guanyu and Lance Stroll, 4 points for Alexander Albon, still no points for Nicholas Latifi, and Nico Hulkenberg only completing 2 races at the start of the year. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull now have a massive lead in the championship, 511 points to Ferrari's 376. Mercedes are only 30 points back. They are closing them down in 3rd position. Alpine are in a battle on their own as well. McLaren 24 points back from them, but they are 50 clear exactly of Alfa Romeo in 6th position, who are in a battle with Haas and AlphaTauri. Joining that battle last time out though, Aston Martin with Stroll getting points. Williams are 10th with 4 points, all coming the way from Alexander Albon. It's the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza, and this is your Grand Prix preview. Let's take a look around Monza, a 3.599 mile circuit, 11 corners. Been on the calendar now ever since the beginning, only missed 1 race, and it's celebrating its 100th year. Starting at the exit of the Parabolica, it's an important step to get a good exit and carry the speed all the way down as you start the lap, down towards turn 1, the Rettifilio from 8th gear, 350 kilometers an hour, brake down all the way to 2nd gear at 90 kilometers an hour. Tight exit as well as you approach the Curva Grande as well. Rise up again at the exit of turn 3. You're doing 7th gear, 295. Before you come into the Dalla Roggia chicane, you brake from 8th gear, 330 kilometers an hour, down into 3rd gear at 130 kilometers an hour. Rising up to the 2 Lesmos then, the Curva di Lesmo 1, 5th gear, 200 kilometers an hour. The 2nd Lesmo slightly banked on the way in as well, 6th gear, 270. Rising now down the straight with the DRS open as well. You reach maximum once again all the way 8th gear, 305 kilometers an hour as you approach the braking zone. Once again into the Ascari chicane, down into 5th gear, 240 at the exit. Down the back straightaway now towards the Parabolica. You have no DRS, you're relying completely on ERS as you come down. Once again, 8th gear, 340 miles an hour, down, brake, 6th gear, 270 kilometers. Ride the exit as well of the Parabolica. Don't go over the white line or your lap time will be deleted. And that is a blast around the Temple of Speed. Hello everybody and welcome to what is a very strange weekend as well. The world and the United Kingdom are in mourning for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II as well, and Formula One very much so is paying its respects. There will be a minute's silence 10 minutes before the start of practice 1. We will be on air slightly earlier for that as well. We're on air at 12:40 British Summer Time for that as well. But it's all change up here as well in the UK, and as a reflection of that, everybody will be in black this weekend on all broadcasts, as far as I've been told. Anyway, we were going to be in black anyway since we found out the news. But it's a strange situation. It sort of hit the UK as it would with devastation, sadness as well, but it's an unusual feeling that everyone is experiencing right now as well. A whole change in government earlier on in the week as well, with Boris Johnson leaving and Liz Truss becoming Prime Minister. And now, just 2 days later, a new monarch as well, with His Royal Highness King Charles III as well, now taking over from his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. So there is going to be national days of mourning here in the UK as well, and Formula One will be respecting those days as well, and will also be paying tribute to not just the monarch of the UK, but of 15 other countries around the world as well, including Australia and as well. And we can really see as well that Daniel Ricciardo is paying tribute on his McLaren car, as well as Lando Norris and other drivers as well. We will be going through tributes that the Formula One teams have done for the Queen as well in the build-up to Practice 1 as well. And we're also going to be mentioning it throughout the weekend as well, because it is something that is going to affect quite a lot of people as well after her 70 years reign on the throne. But Formula One does go on. It's horrible to say that, it always is. But Formula One doesn't stop, and we will continue to broadcast what's going on in the motorsport world and bring you right up to date with the Grand Prix preview. But the UK, and us being based in the UK and British as well, it is a very difficult time as well, which is really bizarre to say. Anyway, we will move on and bring you up to date. Now, first of all, we'll start with Nick de Vries as well. He's been let go from Mercedes this weekend to go to Aston Martin so that he can take part in free practice 1 in replacement of Sebastian Vettel. So that is going to be Nick de Vries driving this weekend alongside Lance Stroll. Lewis Hamilton has taken a brand new power unit this weekend, so he will start this race from the back of the grid as well, so it's unlikely that he is going to win the Grand Prix as well, but he will start from the back. And then the teams as well, and drivers mentioning about Queen Elizabeth II, and her passing was announced at 6:30 UK time yesterday evening as well. Several drivers sending in their regards. We'll get into those, of course, later on in the build-up to free practice as well. But this morning, breaking news was that Porsche have pulled out of their deal with Red Bull as well. They wanted a 50% ownership of Red Bull, and Red Bull were not keen on that happening. They wanted them just to be an engine supplier. So the deal between Red Bull and Porsche are off. Now, as Kobe Lambeth said as well, actually, from Grid Network, he put it in our YouTube chat as well, it's a great chance for Andretti to come in and bring Porsche with them as an engine supplier. Now's the perfect time. Andretti would be allowed in if they could bring Porsche to Formula One. So Audi are working with Porsche in Formula E, so it seems a perfect match for them as well. Yuki Tsunoda has been given a 10-place grid penalty as well after the Japanese driver received his 5th reprimand of the season at Zandvoort for driving back to the pit lane with his belts undone. Now, many rumours been going around as well. I'm delighted to tell you that what we said on Monday as well in the review show is that Yuki Tsunoda did not cheat and to try and cause a safety car. That has now been proved, and he has been deemed innocent as well for race fixing, which is great news. But it is a strange situation going on as well, that he has now been given this penalty for maximum reprimands in the year as well. Going into it as well, quickly, in terms of everything for the media and what we've got coming up this weekend as well. Daniel Ricciardo assessing everything for future, as Hamilton says he's far too talented not to be racing. It seems to be that Daniel Ricciardo might become a Mercedes reserve driver for next year, and in 2024 come back when Lewis Hamilton retires from Formula One. That is the rumour going around. Leclerc is expecting a very difficult weekend in Ferrari's home race at Monza as well, when he crashed out here, of course, back in 2020 as well, after winning here in 2019. This track has never been good to us, says Max Verstappen, as he goes for his maiden win at Monza as well, because it is not looking great, because unfortunately Verstappen has not had a best track record here at Monza as well. So many retirements, so many DNFs as well. Ferrari have got a special livery as well this weekend. They're all dressed in yellow to celebrate 90 years of Ferrari and 100 years of Monza, and also they've got this very strange situation going on where half their car at the back is yellow as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. Let's go to the YouTube chat just quickly as well. We've got TweetDeck up alongside as well. Is that really still a discussion? Yuki cheating is just crazy talk. No, I thought the time was a bit odd. Many people did. The FIA looked into it. All good now, which we knew it would be. We just had to double check, I suppose. Cynthia says, any chance of rain this weekend? I know it's rained, but the track is mostly dried up after Formula 3 practice. There is chance of rain today as well. Getting worse for practice 2 later on. It should be dry for the race, but there is rain sort of just coming in that could challenge it as well. I'm shocked as a Dutchie. I can't imagine how you Brits must feel as well. Does her death have any consequences for Lewis? I have no idea how it works in the UK, but I read somewhere that most people won't be working or something. I get what you mean there as well in terms of the British drivers as well, and those of British nationality not racing as well, because we did think last night with her death and with everybody, like the sporting of the football here in the UK has been cancelled this weekend, as rightly it should be. We did think, are the drivers going to be allowed to race on the request of their government? Because now we go into 12 days of mourning as well, but nobody has actually got a day off yet. Now, if it is a national bank holiday, then it's a question. But right now, all British drivers and all nationalities of the Commonwealth drivers as well will be racing this weekend. Apparently, even in the F1, you're not allowed to have a motorsport session during any monarch funeral or any state funeral across the world. It's not in the FIA regulations actually that you're not allowed to. So if her funeral takes part next Sunday, then any race start time would have to change. But F1's not racing next weekend. That would affect the MotoGP. But what we understand is her funeral will be on Monday the 19th of September as well. So it should be okay for anything like that, and the drivers will still be racing this weekend, but with tributes as well. Going further down as well, especially as it's been knighted, but I might say something stupid. Oh, no, it's perfectly fine to ask questions. Of course it is. No, it won't affect Lewis Hamilton's knighthood as well, because that was a Knight of the Realm given to him by the monarchy themselves as well, so that just triggers down. All it changes really is that because, actually it gets more confusing, because Liz Truss was asked by the Queen to form a government in her name on Tuesday, and now on the Thursday that she passed away, Prince Charles today, now King Charles III, has to go back to London and ask Liz Truss again to form a government in his name, because the government is under the previous monarchy. So it's that. So technically, at this point in time, legally, we don't have a crowned king and we don't have a legal prime minister, but we do have a king and we do have a prime minister. It's very confusing as to what's going on now as well. Further down as well, Cynthia says, yeah, I mean, Max is so far ahead, there will be no use to try and cheat in the use of AlphaTauri. Kind of weird. Some people even think his DNF had something to do with Max. It was just the timing. And even a few people were concerned, because we've seen it so often before in Formula 1. We were just concerned it was happening again. Thankfully, it's not. Hi, Josh says Leclerc's been brought his banana costume to Monza. Fantastic as well. And Gwenwyn says, I think we're lagging. Hopefully we're okay. I'm seeing no lag on the stream end. Actually, 0.3% of a lag. God, you've got good eyes, Gwenwyn, as well. It'll be great for us here in Australia. Lots of legalities, passport changes. Yep, same here. Passport changes has to come in as well, because Her Majesty the Queen is on the front of everybody's passports. Now, that should still be okay, but it's a question whether actually or not our passports do get changed free of charge, or we just wait for them to run out and then renew them as well. But also, our money now changes as well, because we have the Queen on our money as well. So, and all the coins change over. That takes several years, but Prince Charles, now King Charles, will now be on all of our money as well, our dollar bills as well. Well, not dollar bills, our money, our £20 notes, our £5 notes, £10 notes, £50 notes, pound coins, 50p's, 10p's, 5p's, 2p's, 1p's, all that lot as well. That'll all get changed over now as well. So somebody's going to have a massive collection of all of her money, and every time it's changed over with the Royal Mint, so that could be interesting to see now as well. Sarcasm, by the way. Yeah, for us it'll be the £50 coin, 50 cents coin, sorry, yeah, Queen and King on both sides. Yeah, so we haven't been told what it is yet. We understand that the Queen is still going to be on the £5 note as well, but on the back replacing Winston Churchill, and I think he moves over to the £10 note, but that hasn't been made official yet as well. Anyway, it's coming up here at the moment. We've got some interesting things coming through, by the way, in terms of technical regulations that we've got as well. Max Verstappen is... I've just been given a text message. Max Verstappen is to have a 5-place grid penalty for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm not sure why, because the article's in German, but I've just been sent a text message. Breaking news, Max Verstappen will have a 5-place grid penalty for the Italian Grand Prix. And now that'll mean that Charles Leclerc becomes the favourite to win his home race. But no doubt Ferrari will probably change that somehow as well. I'm just trying to read. If anybody can read German, that would be incredibly good. I understand it could be gearbox related. We know they had problems with the gearbox last time out. So while I just to try and double check for you as well why he's got the penalties, we'll update you on the tech updates for this race as well. Synthol, I've just retweeted the article. So at Joshua Birch 99 on Twitter, I've just retweeted the article as well. So it might come up shortly as well. In fact, actually, let's see, because I've got TweetDeck open, haven't I? Where can it come through? Where am I? That is Hazel Southwell, and my Twitter's not there. Okay, so at Joshua Birch 99, you'll see it as well. But the tech upgrades coming to this weekend, because we've got to go off here to come on here shortly. Mercedes have brought a new front wing flap and a new beam wing. For Red Bull have brought a new rear wing flap. Ferrari have just brought a new beam wing. McLaren, front wing flap and rear wing flap, so the two DRS parts have changed over as well at the back. Alpine have brought a removed beam wing gurney as well. AlphaTauri have brought nothing, the same as Alfa Romeo and Haas. Aston Martin have brought front wing flap and rear wing flap, and Williams have only brought a single element beam wing at the back of the floor as well, so that's very interesting to see. So ICE, internal combustion engine, brilliant, thank you Synthol. So Max Verstappen has a 5-place grid penalty as well for an internal combustion engine change as well, and only a 5-place. That must mean that it's an old unit that he's put in as well, but Max has taken a grid penalty. Very entertaining. Now the Italian Grand Prix is going to be although we've seen Max Verstappen have a grid penalty before at Hungary and came through to take the victory, so are we actually entertained? No. Max will probably still win by about 50 seconds, even with his grid penalty. He did in Spa as well. So, Max Verstappen, your winner this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, after winning 4 on the bounce and 10 wins this year. Gwenwyn says, what do you think of Pourchaire's second half of the season? Bit disappointing, not going to lie. I thought he had a sneaky chance of getting a seat as well. No, I think Pourchaire's had a really bad second half of the season and a really bad race at the Netherlands as well, where he's thrown away the title. It's now Dragovic's completely. Pourchaire still deserves an F1 seat, but I think another year in F2, then go over as well and try again in 2024 to get a Formula 1 seat as well. Graham says, so all you tinfoil hatters out there, I need my glasses. It's not because of Yuki as well. This is going to be another interesting one. Will Max win 3 races in a row from outside the top 5? Entirely possible as well. But that does wrap it up, because we're on here again in 10 minutes time as well for first practice. So go get yourself a drink and some food for lunchtime, and we'll be back at 12:40 British summer time. That is in 13 minutes. So go over now and join us for first practice, where we'll be paying tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, as well as Formula 1 dons a minute's silence as well. Thanks for your company. We'll see you later on. Bye for now.